I chime in with, haven't you people ever heard of closing the goddamn door? Ow, it's much better to face these kind of things with the something impressionality. I chime in. I chime in. Hi, everyone. Let's see here. John Denicola, Liberty Ninja, Beth Meadows. Man, I can't see. Ron Bivens. What's up? What's up? Jonathan. How can I not see that? Oh, from back here I can. Kampala. Standing Tall 710. Ryan, what's up, everybody? How about some thumbs up? About to get Ricky on the phone. We're going to talk our nonsense. We're going to talk our stuff. I'm going to ask some questions. If you don't know who Ricky Munday is, he's one of the original auditors out of California. You had J.C. Playford, Tom Zebra, Ricky Munday, Laura Shark, and I want to say then San Joaquin, but I'm not really sure, honestly. But I remember Ricky from way back. So some more thumbs up, man, and I'll call him. 10 more thumbs up, and I'll call him right now. That's right. Quid pro quo. Likes for guests. I chime in with, haven't you people ever heard of clicking the damn like button? Oh, it's much better to talk this kind of crap with a much more thumbs up. Oh, 2 more. Got it right here, man. I'll call him right now. Call him right now. M star F Media? What the? What? Okay, here we go. You growling at, man? We have neighbors. We're allowed to have neighbors. You don't own everything, Paco. You know what they would do to you in Korea? I used to work with a Korean guy, and someone said that they dying on the canine over there. So I asked him, I said, I forgot what his name was. I said, hey, do they eat canines over there? He goes, I don't. All right, I'm calling Ricky. Without further ado. Paco Teriyaki. Yo, Ricky.
Yo, what's up, man?
How are you?
I'm good, man. I was just out here trying to get my bike started up.
Your bike, motorcycle?
Yeah, my little scooter. Yeah.
Right on.
The Rudy Campos lights.
Rudy Campos?
Yeah, the Irwindale cop that pulled me over and took it twice.
Oh, I got you.
Yeah.
So, we've talked a little bit on the phone, and we talked about some stuff earlier, but I've watched you many, many years ago, and one of the first ones I saw is where you were just walking down the street, and a lady cop pulls up next to you thinking you're someone else, and actually pulls her pistol. I don't know if she pointed it at you or not, but this was
She pointed at me from the driver's seat.
Can you guys hear him?
My camera, right at the start of that video, if you look closely, you can see her with her hand on her, like, you can see her pushing the gun back into her holster.
How many years ago was that?
I believe that was around 2010 or 11.
Wow. So, 2010 or 11, you put that video out, or that's when it happened?
Yeah, that's when it happened, yeah.
And yeah, was the video out shortly after, or?
It was uploaded like as soon as it happened.
All right, so you are OG, dude. 2010. Even the people who say the first auditor was Jeff Gray, they're claiming 2011. So you're one of the OGs. You know J.C. Playford out of there, California?
Yes, I do.
You like him at all?
I haven't. I don't know him to like him. I don't really watch his.
I got you.
His videos. I've seen a couple of his videos, but I haven't spent a lot of time on his channel.
So on that video, you were trying to assert your Fourth Amendment rights, and you were trying to do it vehemently. And the only thing that happened is more cops showed up. They started surrounding you and intimidating you more. Till finally, I mean, even I would have been like, all right, man, it looks like you guys are about to gang beat me, so here's my license. You gave me your license. It wasn't you. And that's my one of my very first experiences of you.
Man, you know what? I'm gonna tell you, man. You know, that was the first time I ever recorded. But Tom Zebra's been doing it longer than I have, man. He has videos on VHS, man.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I mean,
they should put his first bicycle in a museum.
I was one of the first ones to start with the cop watch thing, man. And you know, I was doing it out of Venice Beach.
And then I saw another one where you were driving a truck and you got stopped.
Yeah, I believe I got stopped a couple times in the truck, but I've never had any issues in the truck other than not liking it.
What made you start recording?
I thought I wanted to drive a truck, but I've seen how the rules and regulations of the road as a truck driver were, and you know, all of the restrictions on freedom made me not want anything to do with it.
Okay.
And you know, I didn't like being subjected, you know, to unreasonableness. I didn't like, you know, being required to you know, pull over and, you know, give my log information and everything else, you know.
Did you know Tom Zebra at the time you started recording?
At the time I did not. I met him shortly after that video that I recorded here with the sheriff's department. So
you and Tom called me the other day and you were eating frozen burritos, and I told you didn't have to eat them frozen.
Yeah. he doesn't mind.
I'm just joking. So, at one point, were you beefing with a couple other auditors?
I'm sorry, say again?
Were you beefing at all with some other auditors at one point?
I was beefing. I mean, there was just some things that I saw them do in their videos and in their live streams that, you know, they really didn't sit right with me. You know, I was being selfish and, you know, not really respectful of them.
Right on. So where are we at now? What do you want to do now? What are you trying to accomplish?
Man, you know, where I'm at now is I want to be. I think what I want to accomplish the most is I want to share my experience and knowledge with a lot of individuals and try to plant a seed with people to, you know, get them to dig for themselves and dig up their own information, and so that they can successfully find ways to, you know, beat traffic citations, beat, you know, the system at itself the same way that the system is beating them.
You still have your channel up, right?
I do.
And you starting to post stuff now again, or did you ever stop?
I've been posting off and on for the last, for the year, but I haven't been live streaming as much as I used to. Are you
going to focus your channel on something specific?
Yes, I was actually. Matter of fact, I was just going to ask you if it was okay if I rebroadcasted this live stream.
Of course.
All right, let me get my laptop up, and I actually have a green screen set up, so I should be able to pull this off here.
So while you're doing that, I'll tell the audience that we were talking earlier, and him and I have a lot of the same opinions as far as, the license to drive is nonsense. Why would a free people need paid permission to travel on the roads they already pay for? It's a commercial thing. We both agree it's a commercial thing, and the term driving in and of itself is a commercial term. Because if you think critically, why would you go pay them to use your own property on the roads that you pay for. The license in and of itself means paid permission to do something you didn't have the right to do before. So are we getting permission to do something we didn't have the right to do before? Because then at that point they're saying we don't have the right to use our car to travel around, which we absolutely do. A license is to trespass, like if somebody, like a truck driver or an operator or a trucking company, uses the people's roads that the people pay for to turn a profit or a gain. And they need a license to trespass upon the people's highway because they're putting more wear and tear on the roads and et cetera, more danger, et cetera, et cetera. They're adding to the conditions that is not normal usage. So therefore they got to pay extra, and that's the idea.
Right.
Are we on the same page there?
I think I do agree. I do agree with everything that you said 100%. There's one little bit of information that's left out, and that would be the understanding that when you go to get the license, you are actually forfeiting and giving up all of your constitutional rights at the same time.
Because you're saying that you're by asking them for permission to quote unquote drive, you're telling them you want to engage in commercial activity, therefore you need a tax number, the license plate, and
Yes.
A license to trespass upon the people's highways. But you're not driving, you're not carrying passengers or cargo for profit. So yeah,
Right,
you're saying instead of my right to travel freely, I'm coming here and surrendering that right in exchange for paid permission to
Yes, you are.
drive.
Without knowing, under the impression
Yeah.
that that you're required to do so by law.
But the issue there, Ricky, is that if you don't quote unquote volunteer to go get that paid permission, the guys with the costumes and the guns still believe that you need that in order to, they think they own the roads.
Well, in a sense, everybody in the commercial industry or in the DMV and everybody that's driving a car, in their minds, that the only logical explanation for a person to be driving a car is that they have subjected themselves to that commercial contract.
But it's under it's under threat, duress, and coercion. None of us would voluntarily go pay X amount of dollars every year. It's starting to get steep, and I'm sure in California it's really steep, to move around in your own car. Nobody would do that.
Nobody would.
So there's no justification for it. We do it because we're under threat. Because if the option was there, even if the option's there in law, if the option's not recognized by the costume gunmen, your freedom's going to be impeded and your life might be taken on the side of the road.
That's true. Your car is going to get stolen. It's going to be resold, especially if you can't afford to pay
the ransom.
Outrageous prices for the vehicle that they just took from you, and here I believe in California, I believe it's called something like what is it? Towing, property towing is what they call it in the state of California.
What kind?
Property towing.
That's the name of the business?
Well, no, it's what it is. That's what the practice is of.
Where's the due process there?
What is what?
Where's the due process?
There is none.
Again, and if you don't have plates or a license, and they get you, so what are they going to get you for? Driving without a license? Then how would they prove that's unlawful? What law are they citing that it's unlawful when you go to court?
They're citing the DMV code. They're citing the code that says that they have permission to pull you over and stop you if you don't comply with their rules and regulations. So
my next question is, code. When I hear the word code, again, I think commercial activity, commercial code.
Right.
What's that have to do with law?
Well, they confuse it with law. They misrepresent it as law. So people are told over and over again that it's law, so everybody believes it.
So again, even when you look into like little cities, like the city of whatever it is, Frostproof, or wherever you live, the city has a code enforcement officer. So
That's correct.
is the city a business?
Yes, it is.
It is, and their officer is a collection officer / finer, hander out of fines. He's one of the king's men, basically.
Yep.
And
that's it.
And if you ask him, how does your code? You know, I've gotten into plenty of arguments with code enforcement, and he would always say, "Well, in my world." I said, "Well, we don't live in your world. We live in reality, where what you're doing is theft." Okay, I'm sorry you use a different dictionary. In my world, nothing. Come back to the real world and quit playing fantasy world.
Well, that's the exact whole meaning of their realm is that they're not in your world. They think you're in theirs, and in their eyes, you know, anybody that's on the roadway has to be subject to the commercial activity of the roadway. So if a cop pulls you over for not having a valid registration, and he issues you a ticket for not having a valid registration, then what in fact he is doing is he is engaging in commercial transaction when he writes you the ticket.
Yeah, but is a contract valid unless there has to be two consenting parties, two or more consenting parties?
That's correct.
For a contract to be lawful, right?
That's correct.
So where's the other consenting party?
Well, it's you under duress because you signed that ticket.
How can you consent under duress?
Well, I mean, people are going to sign the ticket because, you know,
they're
afraid of going to jail.
Yeah, so it's under fear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's still fear that they, you know, and people are scared. They can't afford to go to jail for the night or the day. They, you know, unlike me, I'll spend the night in jail. It's, you know, freedom is freedom for me. But now I'm starting to look at it, you know, on a whole nother level. You know, if Rudy Campbell stopped me again, am I going to sign his ticket? Hell no. No, we're going to jail for the night, Rudy.
Right.
You know, so, you know, once they give you that ticket, and to them, you're under their authority and their jurisdiction because you have granted them a permission when you went to the DMV and you requested a driver's license. And they tell you when you get your driver's license that any time a police officer requests your license, you must present it to them.
Yeah.
And the word present and hand over are two different things.
Oh, that's exactly what my biggest video was, that I told people you don't have to physically hand over anything, and you can keep your window rolled all the way up during a traffic stop. Just display or present everything through the window. They can see all the information. They can write it down. They just like to have the thing in their hand as leverage.
Well, it's the fact that when you hand over the driver's license, what's going to happen is that shows that you are in commercial contract, and that does show that you are subject to their jurisdiction. Because that driver's license is what they needed to secure that contract.
Right. But you see, even if you don't hand it to them physically, they're still going to enter you in as if you did. You know what I mean?
You know what they are? They are going to, you know, they're going to treat you as if you didn't. Even if you chose to just stay completely silent, they will escalate the situation beyond what really matters.
So I think the solution is that to make talk like this, free travel, to make it not a radical thing. The idea of being able to travel freely as a free person in America should not be a radical idea. If we're supposedly free, we shouldn't need paid permission to use our own property on the roads that we pay for. That's not a radical idea. But if you say that to a TV watching everyday American, they sound so crazy to them that you can actually control your vehicle without the plastic card. Hello.
That's correct. that is correct. I got.
Are you eating a frozen burrito, man? What's going on?
Yeah, man, somebody calling. Yeah.
So how do we get the word out? What do we do? Keep pressing? What are some
Well, I
ideas?
mean, getting the word out to everybody is the complicated part. That's what's hard. I mean, it's not hard to tell everybody, what it is, and what the facts are, but people's mental capacity of being able to understand what it is you're telling them is a complicated subject. The
It's not,
education
though.
level of the average of American didn't complete school, didn't complete, they're undergrads, no education. So when you try to explain things to them, they can't just wrap their mind around these things.
I mean, I'm a high school dropout, and I understand that. Like, when you grow up to be an adult, when I turned 16, every time I got to hand over money to government, I question it. I don't care if it's $1. I don't care if it's 30. I don't care if it's 500. Why am I giving you this money?
Wow.
And I really want to know why. And I don't. And in my head I go, so I just gave you $32 for this plastic card. I just gave you $85 every year for these tax tags you put on my car that I don't want. And for what reason? Why isn't everybody say why? Over the course of you turn 16 and you pay close, let's say average 80 to 100 a year, and you drive for 60 years. You know what I mean?
That's a lot of money to add up. And then
that's per vehicle.
Not only did you pay all these taxes every year, you also paid in taxes to Medicare. You paid into Medicaid.
Social.
You paid into Social Security. You paid into to Internal Revenue Service.
And when you buy gas, you pay a tax. That's what pays for the roads, the gas tax on the gas.
Yeah, you do. You pay taxes on everything.
How does anyone even? Oh wait, no one has any money. I got you. So, go on.
That's why everybody's broke.
They like to keep you that way, man. They give you just enough to make you, so you can catch a buzz here and there and have some entertainment. Hopefully you catch a little lovemaking every now and then, and hope that you don't get pissed off and realize what's going on.
If they could tax everything that you just said, believe me, they would.
They're trying to figure it out. So you sent me a document earlier. You want to kind of run down what that was about? And what you're going to do with it, or how it works?
Well, first, what I would like to answer your question.
Sure.
That document is something that's called an explanatory statement that is issued along with your passport application to the United States Department of State, and that is one of the required documents for changing your status at their level, and you also have to change your status at the state level.
What does status mean?
Status is such as immigration status, like citizenship.
Okay.
You are, you'll hear a lot of these auditors say, I'm a tax-paying citizen. Mm-hmm. Exactly. That's how they have jurisdiction over you. That's how they have you in their system and in their books and in their status. So when you change your status, you put your true status out for them to see what the true status is.
Okay.
And that true status for a lot of people is hard to understand.
So what is your true status?
Well, we are all nationals of the United States.
Okay.
But not all citizens are nationals of the United States.
So when you say citizen, go ahead.
What is the benefit is huge. You get a travel document from the federal government that permits you to travel on land, sea, and air.
That's the passport you're talking about?
It's a passport card, yes.
Hold on. Go back about 20 seconds. We're talking about the citizen part, or what gives you the benefits? Being a citizen?
Well, the citizen doesn't really get benefits. The benefits that the citizen doesn't realize that they get is paying taxes to the IRS, paying for their driver's license, paying for their regulations,
yeah,
paying all these government codes, paying for their professional license if they want one.
Mm-hmm.
Those are benefits of being a citizen, as identified in the 14th Amendment, which are really privileges, they call them.
Right.
And then there's immunities of the United States. So I can't think of any immunities that we get as citizens. Only thing that I can see that gets immunities is the police departments and other government agencies that can basically do what they want and get away with it without consequences.
That's the reality of today, but what immunities are they talking about in the actual document?
Well, what they end up changing is they give you a passport from the passport agency, from the United States Passport Agency, and you also get a passport book. In the passport book, it'll say that this is the United States national and not a United States citizen.
Okay, so what's the difference?
Well, the difference is one is a citizen. A citizen pays taxes. A national does not pay taxes.
What about sales tax?
Legal. Say again?
What about sales tax?
You have to pay sales taxes no matter where because you're not going to go in the store and hand them over anything that's going to exempt you from paying their taxes in the stores.
Right, and sales tax, I believe sales tax is constitutional because it's indirect. But go on.
Well, as far as sales tax goes, I haven't really put myself into the sales tax proportion of it yet. But, the national is not a citizen, so the national is not required to pay any taxes as far as their work goes.
Sure.
They cannot have your employer withhold your taxes.
So what? You show up to work with a passport?
Fill out. Sorry?
So you would show up to a job with your passport and say, I'm not a citizen, thus I'm not required to have...
Well, you wouldn't do that. If you would show up for a job application and you would fill out your job application and it'll ask you, are you a citizen of the United States? There should be an option, yes or no. And it's like, if no, are you lawfully permitted to work in the United States? The answer is yes, you are permitted to work in the United States. And here's my citizenship card, which is your passport to show that you are a citizen of the United States. So that shows that you are legally, lawfully present in the United States. So, given that fact, they cannot require you to fill out a W-4 or W-2 or a 1099. You give them another tax form, which is the I-9, and the I-9 is what the national will fill out.
That's also
Somebody
what
the I-9.
that I-9 is also a proof of citizenship.
Well, the I-9 is the exemption form.
Okay.
I-9 is the exemption form.
They don't even give you I-9s anymore. They don't.
Yeah, they do.
At jobs?
They have no choice. It says on the top of the I-9 that the employer cannot discriminate against you or make you choose which tax forms you want to fill out.
But what I'm saying, like, for instance, when I was in the restaurant business, especially in Florida, a lot of Mexicans were hired to work. And if they had to fill out I-9s proving their citizen, not just proving, I-9, I think, is what you're saying. It's showing what you are, what citizenship you have. And they just stopped.
And the non-citizen national is an option on the I-9.
Right. And they would just stop giving them out because half their staff would be, you know what I mean? Anyway, I got you. Another thing I saw on your paper was that, if I'm not mistaken, is that the United States, when you hear the terms United States, that's the corporation of the United States, not the United States of America, the Constitution, the constitutional republic.
Yes, the constitutional republic and the United States corporation are two different things.
And you're trying to make clear on your explanatory form that you are not a citizen of the corporation of the United States, and you are a national of the constitutional republic of the United States of America.
That's correct.
And somebody is going to look at that and understand what that means.
That's correct.
Who is this person?
This person. This person is you. You know, you're the national of the United States of America. You are not a citizen.
I got you, but when you give this form, it goes to the you said Department of State through the passport agency, and then you're saying they'll look at what you're giving them and send you back a passport where it claims
on the passport application in the fine print. I even have a passport application here somewhere.
Yeah.
On the passport application, it explicitly says I am a citizen or a non-citizen national of the United States. That's just not it. And on the back of the passport, it tells you that if you've ever been convicted of a felony or anything like that, or you owe child support or anything like that, you do not qualify to receive a passport. Blase.
Mm-hmm.
And that is not it is a true statement if you apply for the passport as a citizen and not a national.
Okay. And okay, so you understand, we're talking about 0.0001% of people understand, can even wrap their mind around what you're saying. It even took me several years to kind of understand it because it's a lot of wordplay and it's a lot of this. And the fear I have is like if you try to pursue it legally or they pick you up off the street and you start saying this stuff, they're just going to just say, well, you're just a kook and you're making stuff up because not that many people know.
You know what's even more interesting is when I was just recently arrested in Colorado.
Mm-hmm.
I was arrested for failure to identify,
which is a secondary charge.
Which was a secondary charge, but it was originally the first charge that I was arrested on, and then the secondaries came. But you know how they do it with obstruction. So anyway, I ended up demanding to go to the hospital. I went to the hospital. They took me into the hospital, and they fingerprinted me multiple times with a live scan.
Mm-hmm.
And they ran me through the NCIC.
Mm-hmm.
And through the database, the DMV database and everything. They got no return from me. All they got was a name and date of birth and resident out of California. No address. Hell, I have a Class A driver's license history. There was absolutely no fingerprint available for them. There was no prison arrest records for them. There wasn't even a picture from the DMV of me.
You don't have a driver's license?
Even from the driver's license.
You don't have a driver's license?
My driver's license expires on the December of this month, 27th of this month.
And then what?
It's expired. I don't have a driver's license anymore.
You're just going to let it expire?
Yeah.
Now that letter, you haven't sent that letter in yet, right?
I sent it in.
Oh, you have?
I sent it in, and my matter of fact, I got a call from the passport agency today, and I recorded the phone call. They told me that they're having trouble identifying me, and they need more documentation from me. I already sent them the more requested documentation from me, so they called me and they said, "Hey, yeah, you sent us a lot of stuff, but everything that you sent us, we need something older. We need something like your school records or your elementary school records, or they need my anything that's from my 20s or my teens or in my youth to prove who I am. Even though they got a copy of this driver's license, they got a copy of my expired ID, they got a copy of my old Oklahoma driver's license that expired 4 or 5 years ago.
They just can't use that?
No, they're not satisfied with that. They want something way older.
Oh, I see. So they're just making sure you are who you say you are.
They are.
So you get this passport back, you become a national, you're going to keep using vehicles to get around, right?
Well, okay, I am. But, also in the Department of Motor Vehicles, if you dig deep enough, like here in the state of California, there is a non-citizen
Driver's license.
No, there is that's became available under AB 60, but there is a DMV paperwork within the DMV that you can fill out to request your title to be removed from the state. And
you're kidding.
Now, but it requires the paperwork from the Department of State and the passport and the national status in order for them to recognize that. Now, once you do that,
okay.
you can obtain that information, and you can go to the consuls and missions through the Department of State and request a consul license plate. And you will get a consul license plate, which is considered a diplomatic license plate. And you can attach that to your vehicle. Or, as a matter of fact, you can print your own license plate up and attach it to the back of your vehicle. And when the cops do pull you over,
because they will,
you hand them that passport card. That passport card is reviewed, and then that reviewed passport card is then taken back to his patrol car, and there is a federal identification number on that passport card. Now, they enter that number just like a driver's license number into their system, and information about you pertaining to your status will return.
Yeah, and then what?
You're free to go.
Hopefully.
You're free to go. I got this one guy. For you guys that don't know who I am talking to over here on the live stream, I am talking to John Felix. And John Felix is an old school guy. We share a lot of the same interesting topics and everything. So that's who we're speaking with on the chat here. I should be able to even share this. Let me see if I can share a window or something. But yeah, so that's that. I just had to get rid of that troll, man. He's been trolling too long. I've given him, I honestly think it's Rudy Campos. I believe that is Rudy Campos.
What, in your live stream?
Oh, man, that guy, yeah, I do believe, yeah. That guy, when we went to court, he had nothing to talk about in court but my YouTube channel. That's it. So, but yeah.
I would love to see what happens with all this stuff.
Me too. I have full faith. I haven't been able to find anything in the legal circumstance to disprove of this. So all the information is there.
Yeah.
When you go and you register your vehicle, in my video, as I explained, you go to register your vehicle, you're actually converting private property to public property with the registration of the DMV registration.
Right.
Matter of fact, I have, if you have a title and you look on the back of it, it'll say, I consent to receive the process of service at the address above. It's written on there.
And what's the address? The DMV?
Yeah, so the registration of your vehicle is actually you consenting to the service of process. The service of process is the service that you receive through the mail. Anything you can get through the mail at the address. The address is your permanent lawful resident.
How can we get like 1 million people to do this at once? We should make this a TikTok trend.
18 million of these cards issued. There's been 18 million of these United States passport cards issued. The card is specifically and only assigned to U.S. nationals. They are not given to United States citizens because United States citizens have a lawful permanent residence. The national doesn't have a lawful permanent residence. He has an address.
So that's more wordplay. Resident versus foreign national versus national, right?
Yes. Huge wordplay. So,
when you say card, they send you like a driver's license, not like a driver, like a credit card style card.
They send you a card in the mail with your picture on it.
Mm-hmm.
And it'll say United States passport. and I have your name, date of birth, and no address. And it'll say USA, or it'll say United States national, or it'll say national. And that card is just like any government card that you can receive. And matter of fact, it is one of the highest forms of identification that a person can receive from the federal government.
And who's the issuing agency on the card?
The Department of State, the Secretary of State.
So it should be good as gold. It should be good as gold for pretty much any ID situation. What if you try to open a bank account? You just have to bring in like bills from home proving you have a home, or what?
Yep.
Or you just don't open bank accounts. How's that work?
Again, the I-9 is going to exempt you from that.
How are you going to do business?
Well, the thing is now you need to get into the ITIN number, which is a individual tax identification number that you can issue when you can get issued to you through your state and through the IRS.
And you use that to open a bank account?
Yes, you do.
So how long you been researching this stuff?
Dude, I started on this path back in 2009 or 10, a little bit just before I met Tom Zebra in the first video.
Mm-hmm.
And the first video that I did with Tom Zebra was El Segundo Police, where me, him, and Poetic were stopped for impeding traffic. But it was kind of like an audit thing where I stood outside of the El Segundo oil refinery, and they called the El Segundo Police on me. They showed up, and I was like, well, if you want to contract with me, I need 3 forms of ID.
Mm-hmm.
And they didn't understand what I was saying, and they were confused, and they were like, you know what, come on, let's go. Fuck this guy.
Right.
So they took off, and then we rode off on our bikes. We were laughing our asses off, and then we got stopped by El Segundo Police, unmarked vehicle, and they pulled us over for impeding traffic. And they issued all 3 of us tickets, and they took Poetic into jail because he didn't have an ID in his possession.
So, what's the name of your channel?
Ricky Munday, M-U-N-D-A-Y.
M-U-N-D-A-Y. And it's been up for a long, long time.
Well, this is actually my second channel. My first channel got deleted.
Why?
I don't know. Don't know. YouTube wiped my channel off the map.
Right on.
And I don't know what happened to it. At the time it got deleted, I was up like 45,000 subscribers within a couple months.
Well, are there any other socials you want to plug?
Is there any what? No, I saw everything that I have goes by Ricky Munday. You can see my Instagram. It's public. It's
at Ricky Munday?
No, it's it's at Ricky Munday. It's at Ricky. At Ricky Munday _.
Okay. What else you got, man?
I got whatever questions you ask, man.
Questions.
Whatever it is that I can, I
basically
share with you that I know.
I just run my mouth until I run out of questions, and I let my guy give a nice final thought, plug his stuff, and I tell everyone to go subscribe.
Oh, hell yeah. I'm going to tell you, a lot of people will say that this stuff is nonsense, that is bullshit, and, we have no other choice but to get a driver's license. They will tell us that, there's no such thing, and Social Security will tell us that we can't quit the Social Security Administration. There's a lot of things that take place there, and the United States is about being a free and open society. And in a free and open society, we have choices, and we have the choice of freedom, and we have the choice to involve ourselves or not involve ourselves in the contracts, and we have the right to say no. And the United States is also about equality, and overall there is no equality here, because you're subject to the corporation. You're subject to being obligated to their system without question. and in their mind, they have all jurisdiction over you, and there's no getting around it. You are that citizen that they are going to take advantage of.
What are some starting steps people can take to become a more free person in this free country?
First thing you might want to do is research the INA.
Immigration and naturalization. What is INA?
Immigration and Nationality Act. You can simply type in non-citizen national.
Non-citizen national Immigration Naturalization
INA.
Act.
And it will redirect you to a federal website that is the United States Department of State, which is statetravel.gov or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And it will put you on a page explaining to you what the United States national is. It'll tell you right then and there, and then if you read down through it, it'll tell you in one paragraph that specifically caught my attention. What did they say? They said that there's no need for the request or the creation of a non-citizen national certificate, but if you do request one, you can request one by executing a DS-11 with the Department of State and attaching a explanatory statement.
I said starter steps, man. Starter.
Those are starter steps.
I know. So research Immigration Naturalization Act and
Immigration and Nationality Act.
Oh, okay. Also, you did a great video where you explained who the real sovereigns are. I posted it and I said, Professor Ricky, because you did a great job. I think I watched 90% of it. What was the name of that video?
I believe the name of that video is Sovereignty for the Police.
Say it again. Oh, Sovereignty for the Police.
Sovereignty for the Police.
And that's on your Ricky Munday channel.
That's there.
Okay. All right, man. Final thought, because Johnny's got to go win him some money.
Oh yeah, go win some money, man. Just don't pay no taxes on it.
Pool players don't pay taxes on their winnings, buddy. I promise you that, unless it's televised.
Yeah.
Dude, I appreciate you so much. Again, you're one of the very, very, very first people I've ever watched. I was inspired by you. And it's great to meet you, speak to you on the phone, know you as a person. I am very looking forward to see your adventures in freedom is really what it is. You ever heard of Mark Stevens by chance? It's Marc Stevens. Him and another gentleman named Paul Enslaved. You should friend him on Facebook. He's my buddy. I interviewed him also. And all three of us are kind of on the same page. We just got to, get the message out there and take the stigma off freedom talk as being radical. Because freedom is not radical unless you're, a little scared biatch.
If you're scared to get out there and stand up for yourself and your rights and everybody else's rights, then you're not about freedom.
You're not. What are they waiting for? For them to come to the front door? Is that what they're waiting for?
The only people that come to your front door is the mail, thieves, and cops, and you. So you make the choice of who you want to let in.
All right, Ricky. We could do this again sometime. Everybody, please go subscribe to Ricky Munday. Check out his video he did about cops and who the real sovereigns are. And that's about it, my man.
Oh yeah, not to mention me and Tom Zebra catching the Inglewood live on the radio scanner at 2:30 in the morning. Here in Inglewood, break into the narcotics office on the early morning of May 4th at 2:30 a.m. Only to come to find out on November 30th, on May 4th, John A. Baca, narcotics officer from the Inglewood Police Department, later that day on May 4th, delivered a kilo of coke. And we got the radio call that we heard, in person. And I'm proud that I narked on the narcs. I narked on the narc cops over there, the Inglewood cop. he's sitting downtown in the federal jail where he's supposed to be, and meanwhile I'm running around the city asking all the surrounding cities of Inglewood police if they happen to have a history of buying cocaine from the city of Inglewood.
Probably no, man. They give it to us for free.
Hell yeah! So
right on, Ricky.
Arrest you for it. So I'll holler at you, man. Thank you for your.
Thank you, dude. I really, really appreciate you and everything you've done, and you've influenced me, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. You're the man. Subscribe to Ricky Munday. Call me whenever you want, bro. Anytime.
All right, you too, man.
See you. Tuesday, I don't give an F. Wednesday, Thursday, smell my breath. Friday, I can't even be gay. It's Ricky Munday, I'm in love. Saturday, yeah. Dude, I cannot read and talk to somebody on the phone, guys, so I apologize. Hope you liked the interview. I'm definitely not reading all these comments, man. Some of you are, I would love to jump in these conversations. No way. Hi, everybody. I saw Yasu. Yasu, everybody. Love you. Thank you for watching. Ricky, cool dude. I say what you want about the guys who dig in deep and find the words and finds the, because a lot of what court is legal jargon. There's a reason they put stuff in Latin. There's a reason they don't have stuff in plain English. There's a reason they want you to go through years and years to study a new language, legalese, instead of having it in plain English and being able to represent yourself. It's word games. It's BS. And these guys, some of them, they cut right through it, like Paul Enslaved, Mark Stevens, and now Ricky Munday. Hopefully that they like this stuff he's talking about the passport and this ID card and being a national versus a 14th Amendment citizen versus the United States, the corporation versus United States, the constitutional republic. It's a lot to wrap your mind around, and it even took me a long time to wrap my mind around it. But if you think about it, a free people shouldn't need license to move around. The key to freedom is freedom of movement. Anyway, I'm sure people are going to say I'm a kook or, the S word. And word, I'm sending a cease and desist letter to YouTube about the sovereign citizen tag they put under my videos. I'm not a sovereign citizen. I'm not dangerous towards anybody. I'm not violent. I'm not anti-good cop. I'm anti-bad cop. And if you're not anti-bad cop, you're a moron. So on and so forth. Do we need government? Yeah, a small constitutional government for general stuff. We don't need them from cradle to the grave and owe them our whole life in restitution, like we did something wrong just by being born here. Anyway, I think you've heard enough. Thanks again, Ricky. You guys good? I'm good. So I wish I could read all that. I can't even see it. I might have to get readers or whatever they're called. Bleeders? Oh no, that's something else. All right, everyone. Have a good day. Peace.